Guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have a review this week of the Taylormade P760, Taylormade's latest offering. Released a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
We got it in the store last week, and you know, we got it in the hands of our team and wanted to get some reviews. So obviously huge success last year for Taylormade with P790 specifically.
Yeah.
They absolutely killed it. Good looking iron, performed really well. Some people kind of obviously weren't in love with the high speed, low spin element. So I think it got a little bit of a reputation for being a little bit kind of on the jumpy side.
I guess, yeah.
Some people thought that. I mean, I wouldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't always say that some of the people who were criticizing it for that, they could kind of do with a little bit more distance. I mean, if you ask how many of those people are going over the back of greens, it's probably not that many.
How many people do you play with the hitter over the back of a green?
Not that
it's
many.
Pretty much no one. And I doubt that the criticism came from someone who went to a fitter that gave them the option of weakening the lofts.
100%.
Like Alan, who works here, we were just talking about it yesterday. He's like, I like those P790s, but I'm worried about hitting, through the back on some shots. I said, Ian will weaken the lofts for you if that's the case.
I mean, look at Ping with their retro spec, standard spec, power spec. I mean, every iron has those capabilities.
Smart, right?
Ping have just categorized it really smart with some terms. They've done a great job with that. You can manipulate the loft to be where you need to be. You don't have to play a 26 degree 6 iron. So Taylormade obviously have looked at the range of the P irons, the P7 something irons, and went, okay, 750s, the Protos, the 770s, and the 790s, and let's kind of create a blend of all all three. So
they intended to eliminate the 770.
Yep.
Eliminate the 750.
Yep.
And this is now going to be 730s, 760, 790. They're going to have the three categories.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So this kind of set, if you haven't seen any of the reviews or haven't kind of looked at any of the kind of spec on it, what they've done is they've combined the tech of the 790, if you like, into the long iron. So iron 3 through 7 has some speed foam in there, progressively less as it goes down towards the 7.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so as the sole's wider and the sort of construction, the kind of hollow body is a little bit bigger, there's a little bit more of that urethane speed foam in there.
Okay.
Then as it gets towards the 7, there's a little bit less, and the body of the iron shallows a little bit.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's progressive in a way that you don't really see. Like we've seen progressive irons where there's like a big cavity, then a little cavity, then no cavity. They've kind of done it internally.
Yeah, and this goes back to a very similar concept for Taylormade. Was when they released the R9TP. Was very similar.
I remember those.
The long irons were actually hollow body construction in those R9TPs. And then they progressively got less towards not having any kind of foam or any kind of filler in there on the short iron. So it's kind of not a new concept for Taylormade.
Interesting.
But it's kind of with a slightly repackaged design.
Yeah, I mean, looking at them right away, they're definitely more compact than a P790.
Yeah, sole width is very different. And some subtleties. Even if you look at the detail towards the pre-worn leading edge, see how that's just rounded a little bit?
Blunted here.
Really good on that leading edge, which better players will like. It will actually help with the turf interaction quite a lot. So I love those details in irons. Mizuno are renowned for those little pre-worn leading edges, and you've probably heard us talk about that before. And that was a sort of design characteristic that came from looking at the clubs of players from the 1950s, 1960s.
Right. And they had done it purposefully, like they ground it off.
Well, what they'd actually done, Matty, was it was just old irons. When you looked at them after several years, it was actually the iron, having hit so many shots, had actually kind of been ground away through shots.
That's interesting.
So it was kind of, they could see that's what the iron wants to do. Is be a little bit more blunt on that leading edge, and that helps with the turf interaction. So
that's cool.
It's neat. I love those designs. I think to provide as balanced a view as we can, we have to mention some people are it's kind of divided the crowd whether you love them or don't like them.
Appearance-wise,
yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Not everyone has fallen in love with it straight away.
I think they look a lot better in person than they do in photos.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
First time I saw it in the pictures and stuff, I wasn't too sure. And
this
then,
looked plastic in pictures. It's not. Yeah. This is metal, and it's satin, right?
A few of our Patreon members talking about it over the weekend. Bandit was saying about it. He wasn't sure about the vertical lines, but now he's seen it in person.
It's a little better in person.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, shape-wise and so over the ball, it looks like any good player's iron.
Yeah, it's nice and compact. Yeah. I was saying I don't think the top line is maybe as thin as other ones in the category.
Yeah.
But other than that, it seems nice and short, heel to toe, and it's a good looking player's iron.
It was interesting the way that they launched the iron. I mean, it was kind of an Instagram launch.
It was, right? Yeah.
With Jason Day and the whole live video thing, and Day had his P750s, and trying to kind of I guess direct the narrative with him towards, okay, so how do you hit your long irons? Well, when I'd miss-hit them a little bit, I'd drop off in speed. Well, we've got something that'll fix that,
Just happened to have it here.
Here we go, we've got a solution. So it was interesting to see them do that, but I don't see it like a direct replacement for 750. I see this as a replacement for 770.
Yeah, I agree with that. Profile-wise, it looks more like that, doesn't it?
More like that, for sure. I think, the player who uses a 750 would probably not end up in this iron.
Yeah, fair enough. I just don't think that in that category they want the speed foam aspect, and they don't necessarily want that kind of techiness.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go that route, you may want to go this way. So it'll be interesting to see how many people. I mean, you're not going to play blades.
Yeah.
For most people, right?
Yeah.
So 730 to this is a huge jump. You're going from a blade to something that's very far from a blade.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah. Interesting to see how similar they are to something like they're going to want to try to compete with like a Mizuno split cavity or something, aren't they?
That's the kind of sector of the iron market that they are sitting in. So it'll be interesting to see how they are.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's hit it. We've kind of picked a hole out at Pebble.
One of our favorites.
Just an ordinary looking hole, nothing too special.
Has some famous,
number 17.
Famous heritage at that hole.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? 195 yards. We've got to number 17, like you were saying earlier, it's the famous one where Nicholas nicked
it off the pin and stopped it dead.
Yeah.
Try to hit a couple of those for you.
We will indeed. So we'll hit some of this, Matty, and then like we have been doing with the testing, just so we can sort of see how they perform relative to what you use, a fitted product, see how that goes. We'll hit it against your 765 Strixon as well.
Okay. That's the one.
That's really nice, Matty.
Big hop. That's nice.
Really good, that last one there, Matty.
Just trying to feel a little fade, which for me ends up being straight a lot of the time.
You hear so many good players talk about that. For them the feel of fade is just really going to produce less draw.
For sure.
That's all.
Well, knowing my path being quite, about 5 from the inside normally, that was about 2, so that's less so.
The other thing with this, for whatever reason, whether it's kind of, through mechanics, your own mechanics or whatever, dynamic lie angles coming in quite toe up here.
And these are flat?
It's 1 degree flat right now, so.
I've definitely had a couple lessons that are helping. I'm usually a little toe down.
Yeah.
So that has been helping.
So that's obviously going to hinder our ability to kind of hold that line to the left, but.
I would be happy with that last shot though. Okay, I'll try to make it move a little left this time. So far they feel extremely good, I have to say.
It's got a nice sound to it.
They just sound great.
Get up.
That's nice. Not the best strike, but they're soft feeling.
Swing.
Just a little turn.
Really not much leeway on the old right side of this flag, Matty.
Those are feeling super solid though. Lots of ball speed on the good strike. That one I turned over. I wouldn't blame the iron for the low spin on that one.
Dropped the dynamic loft a little bit on that one. Okay.
This is about as soft a feeling iron as I've tried.
Is it really?
Extremely soft.
Wow.
Even the low strike felt like soft. We're not using a softball either. Another little fade. Good one, catch a piece.
Come on.
No, that's a good shot too. Why do we keep picking these holes that are way too hard? Like that green is so small.
It is absolutely tiny. That was really nice out of a bit of a low one again. Yeah. I mean, numbers wise is great. 131's good, really solid ball speed.
I'm surprised at how good they feel to start.
Pretty good.
Really nice.
Okay.
Should we try to hit a couple creative shots?
Yeah.
Something low? Can you put a bit of wind into us?
We can.
So now we got 10 mile an hour in the face.
That's an easy one. 200-yard hole with a 10 mile an hour headwind.
Well, let's see how good you can flight these down, because normally if you're hitting into 10 mile an hour, you're going to switch clubs.
That's very true.
So let's see if we can get it up.
Well,
there.
let's be fair to you. Let's what would you hit if you had a headwind of 10 mile an hour and you picked 6 iron? What you hit, like 190?
Yeah. If I was really going to roast one down there, yeah. Try to hit a low spinner from 190. Anything more than that, probably.
Okay, let's go 188.
Okay.
Sure. Let's see where that to the front of that green there. You've got to cover this 180, which you can do into the.
Should be, yeah.
With 6.
So let's flight it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably try to turn it a little bit too.
It's a good swing. Really good swing. That should be.
Catch a piece.
That's a really good shot.
Happy with that.
Okay.
So we lost about 10, 15, like we said.
Yeah. So you flighted it down a little bit. You brought your launch angle down about 3 degrees, spin rate down, somewhere in the 500 to 800 RPM region from where we had it on a full shot.
It's a good little wind club,
really
isn't it?
Good, yeah. I mean, you've taken your club head speed down, which is the right thing to do. Obviously, to hit it, a little bit flatter into the wind.
Right.
You don't want the same velocity. So you have brought your club head speed down a little bit, but by de-lofting it, you're still generating an awful lot of ball speed out of it. So that's really nice. You've just narrowed your spin loft window a little bit, so delivering 15 degrees of dynamic loft at impact, which is perfect.
Right.
Really good face control. Okay, let's hit a couple more just like that. So that last one was pretty much ideal.
Just turned it a bit.
Yeah, really nice strike. Just turned it a fraction.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just I think that amount of curve is great. Let's start at a fraction
just got to start more left. It's really keeping the spin down nicely.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to knock. That's about about 1,000 off of what we were getting.
Yeah, that last one especially was about 4,400 on backspin. Yeah, 45. Very nice.
So I didn't hit it super low, obviously, but it doesn't look like it has much spin on it. Yeah, you get the distance.
Good.
So dropped about 500 RPMs on that?
Yep, about that. You were spinning it with, when you were hitting without the headwind, you were spinning it in the kind of mid to low 5s.
Right.
So yeah, I would say 200 or 300 RPMs less on that one.
Okay. Try to knock it down a little bit lower this time.
Okay.
Just turned it too much.
A fraction. Yeah, not going to be unhappy.
That's probably the miss
that
on
bunker
that hole.
on this hole. That's definitely doable as an up and down.
Yeah, 4,800 spin. Okay, last one. I'll move it the other way a little bit if I can.
Ooh, that's nice.
So we'll probably have a little more spin on that because it was faded, but
that was awfully
to
nice.
get 180 into the wind like that is
you'll take that all day.
Yeah. Good strike.
That was really nice. Good strike. 15 launch, 5100. So yeah, you spun it a fraction more because you had a little bit more dynamic loft than the standard shots. Or sorry, less than the standard shots, but more than when you knock it down normally.
Yep.
Because you would normally turn that one a little bit more. But that's exactly what you'd want to do into a little bit of a headwind. No, really good. I think the iron gives you a really nice balance of everything.
It seems to, yeah.
Feel, obviously, performance. It seems to be pretty forgiving.
It's definitely forgiving. They haven't all been smoked, and I think it seems to be pretty easy to move back and forth, left and right and such.
Definitely. Sort of, from what you're feeling, what would you say would be the sort of handicap range that this would be a nice iron for?
I would say up to, you'd probably be comfortable up to about a 10.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
And if you were a 0, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't play it.
100%.
The top line, I know I said earlier it was a little thick. Honestly, now that I look at it, it's not really.
No.
It's probably even a little bit more narrow than an AP2.
Interesting.
Something like that. There's really nothing that I would say is going to draw you back.
Yeah, so I mean, and I would agree with that sort of category designation, scratch to 10,
something like
12 that. If you're a strong ball striker, maybe your handicap's a bit inflated because of other parts of your game.
True enough.
You know, that type of thing, but you know, it's not going to be exclusively just for the Jason Days of the world. Like,
no.
You know, they can obviously.
And I'd imagine it would blend really well with the P790 and the really long irons.
Yeah.
It's designed kind of that way.
Yeah.
That being said, I know it's progressive, but if you wanted to blend them, I'd imagine they've kind of built that into the engineering.
For sure. And we have planned that, haven't we, to do, we want to do not just a 6-iron comparison, we want to do a full set comparison. So we're going to take a set of P790s. We're going to hit 4-iron, 7-iron, pitch and wedge on 760s and 790s. Yeah. Just to give you guys a little idea what the comparisons are with speed foam, with less speed foam in the 7. So obviously the 7-iron and the 760 is the one with the least amount of speed foam in there. Yeah. And then in the wedge that has none. Right. But it still has it in obviously in the P790. So we'll do that test just to give people an idea as to what it's like with and without speed foam, and as the head gets a little smaller. So do you want to hit a couple just with mine, just to compare do that, the flight? Just to compare, and we'll go back to the same distance. Let's do it. Okay, Matty. So I think only fair to test it against yours and give give the guys at home watching a chance to see how comparable they are to another very high performing iron. I mean, everyone knows how well you hit your 765, so it'd be nice to see how it kind of performs, because I think this is the type of iron that is exactly who the P760 is going up against. I think so. The P7, the Strix, and especially the 765 with the slightly larger head. Yep. The long irons have quite a wide sole, not intimidating by the look at all. No. And then down into the short irons, it gets a little bit narrower. And there's so many people playing a Strix and combo set, it probably is quite comparable in that sense. Should be, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at how the 6 is looking. It's a good looking shot. Catch a piece, yeah, I'd be happy with that. You'd be over the moon with that, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Spin, yeah, hair lower maybe. Bit of a draw shape, so that might have been part of it. Quite similar looking that, 15, around that 15 degree mark with launch. It's about where it was. Low 5s, quite similar. Okay. Not quite as well hit. I was going to say that actually looks on a better line. It is, yeah. It looked like you missed it a fraction, sort of sounded like you missed it a fraction. It was a bit thin, yeah. That's not bad though, is it? So good, isn't it? These feel, now I don't dislike the feel of these at all. Yeah. These are firmer for sure. Is that right? There's no doubt that, like, I don't know, I feel like the foam must make those softer. Has to. I don't know if it's, I'm not going to say it's positive or negative. Yeah. Because you may not like something that feels soft, but those are really soft. Interesting. Okay. That is by far the best one I hit. Smoked it. Get out. Oh.
So these aren't lacking for distance in any way, that's for sure.
No, definitely not.
But they're definitely a little lower spin, which is, I'm really surprised to see that. Really am.
Yeah, I mean, if we saw yours sort of spinning or just dipping in a little bit low in spin with that much ball speed,
yeah,
we would probably want to back yours off a little bit. We don't necessarily need it flying 205.
No. I think they've addressed the low spin issue, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no question. And we said, they were always going to with a higher loft.
For sure.
You know, starting at 29 degrees of loft, it was always going to spin more, but I think the construction of the head, the way they've made it is helping in that aspect as well.
Yeah. I guess the question is, what is that speed foam? What's the benefit of it then, I guess? I mean, are we getting more distance from something that has no speed foam? Probably not, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much, I don't think. If you look on the image, really the most speed foam in the P760s and the 345.
Right.
Quite significantly wider in the sole.
Yeah. With
much more in there. You know, and if it's doing anything, it's doing much more in there than it is on those middle two irons. I mean, the 7 is a very thin.
It's like a little strip.
It's really hardly any. There's a good little image we can perhaps
I can put it up there.
Put up for everyone where they can see it. I'm looking at it over here, but
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's substantially less, isn't it?
You can see it really progressively change.
No doubt the feel of it is affected by that big time, though.
Yeah.
Because these two feel very, very different.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I liked that quite a bit, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They may be a little soft for some people's liking,
right?
But it's so subjective. I don't know. I don't imagine it would put you off using them.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed nice and forgiving, and the distance was good. We got plenty of spin.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good iron in this category.
Good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the type of player who struggles a bit, spacing out the distance on those long irons, sort of, I get a lot of that in fitting sessions. People will say, I'm good pitching wedge down to 6, and then 5 goes not quite the full distance.
Okay.
And then 4 iron, the gaps get a little bit too close.
Right.
So rather than hitting it kind of 10, 12 yards apart, they're maybe more like 6 to 8 yards apart.
Right.
And that's where they're thinking hybrids. But, some people struggle a bit with the hybrids. So maybe that's where this type of iron is going to fill a void. Rather than building a combo set, it is a combo set.
It is a combo set, yeah.
It's exactly what it is. But it's not all the way to P790.
No.
It's not blending a P790 with a P770 and a P750.
True enough.
It's a bit more subtle than that.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to kind of dabble in the technology of this, I would say this is your better option.
Yeah.
If you wanted something a little traditional. But it's not, I don't think it's going to be a low spin iron unless you really strengthen the lofts.
Yeah.
And trajectory-wise, I think they were awfully similar to mine. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was hitting it much higher.
No, it really wasn't. It was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah. So a good competitor to what's out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they necessarily
in the players category. Without being in the kind of tour category.
Right.
Players cavity. Is where it's probably going to sit. But
so we've got some more planned for this guy. Obviously, I think we'll do some comparisons with
that one's
obviously
going to be
the other
good.
one.
Yeah, I think that full set comparison, you guys will get some really good value out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are on the fence about whether this is a better iron, maybe you'd been thinking of P790s, but had been hesitant because of the quicker ball speeds with the lower spin.
Right.
Most of that being loft related. So that's the thing.
Okay, awesome. We'll look forward to doing that pretty soon.
Excellent. Guys, let us know if you've tried it, if you've been out and given it a try at any fitting stores, or you've maybe snuck into your local golf store and just had them let you hit their demo iron.
Yeah, true.
Let us know if you like it, what your thoughts are. Were you kind of a little bit hesitant or skeptical and it's changed your mind, or did you go in with an open mind and then you didn't like it so much? Let us know what your thoughts
Absolutely.
are. I think most people will probably gravitate towards liking it a little bit more when they see it in person.
I totally
and
agree.
hitting it.
Totally agree.
I think that's for sure. I think it's going to do absolutely, it's going to do really good on sales for Taylormade. And honestly, I didn't think so at first.
No, I know you weren't the biggest fan when you first saw them.
I just wasn't. I wasn't in love with the look of it. I wasn't in love with the design of it. But like anything else, I mean, I fully, obviously understand that you know, those things mean nothing until we get it in the hands of a player and do the testing. There's plenty of times I've done the opposite. I've you know, went, oh, I can't wait to hit that, see that, and hit it and go,
no thanks.
No, you're all right. So that's probably where I'm at with it. I'm very, very comfortable going to be putting this in people's hands over the next little while, and I think we'll get some great results.
Yeah. No, I was really pleasantly surprised with them as well. I think it's a great iron.
Good. Guys, you know, let us know your feedback. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel like we were saying last week.
Yes,
subscribe
please.
to the channel. If you haven't, you know, you'll get the notifications, you'll get access to all the offers that we're going to have to our subscriber base.
Yep.
Lots
Contests
of stuff coming.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the contests that we do specifically for our subscribers as a thank you to you guys for following us and kind of you know, backing us on this venture. We're loving doing it, so we want you to be there with us.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.